Good evening, LTL Nation. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Anita. On today's topic about compassion on Life Talks Life. Mahatma Gandhi once said, there can be no world without love and compassion. But how compassionate are we really? As opposed to what many people think, compassion is not just a mere feeling of pity towards the suffering of another person or a weakness, but it's more our human natural instinct that we are having towards other people, ourselves, and everything else that is living on this planet. It's a natural act of kindness, because compassion does not come with an expectation of reward. It's a selfless act. The other day, when we were at the beach, there was a lady selling those little bracelets that you can sell here at the beach. And they're quite expensive considering the prices over here in the region. So we went over there to ask about them because they were quite beautiful. And when she told us the price, we were first thinking if we really want to buy the bracelet or not. But then we thought, why don't we just support her and her business and buy those bracelets? Because they're still cheaper than the average prices in our countries. So we went ahead and bought actually 4 bracelets from her. And this is a kind of compassional act, if you want to see it as one, because there are several kinds of compassions. The first kind of compassion that we are having is a self-compassion. If we are not self-compassionate, how are we going to give compassion to other people? The second act of compassion is the compassion towards other human beings. And that counts for human beings as well as for animals. The third compassion that we are having is a mass compassion. And this one we can always see when huge disasters happen in the world and a really big amount of people is trying to help others with first aids. Now, the natural automatic response that we are having with compassion is something that we are born in. And there is a huge science that comes behind compassion. So you can see how big and important that topic is. Because evidence suggests that as well, humans and animals are born with a natural instinct of helping others. And neuroscientists have proven that compassion improves the overall well-being of human people and as well as it boosts our immune system. Because what it does, it triggers the pleasant part of our brains that we encounter when we have pleasure. And I'm talking about pleasure like eating chocolate, making love, doing things that we love. And as well as in human beings, animals have the same traits. So scientists have proven that, for example, rats, when they encounter another suffering rat, they're doing everything to go on and help that rat. As well as monkeys and chimpanzees and human little children are born with that instinct because they have a natural act of helping others in a situation when help is required. So compassion is not something that just comes. It actually is really something that we are born with and something that we can treat ourselves every day and practice every day. So I want to give you 4 little steps that you can do every day to practice a little bit your compassion. Because compassion doesn't always have to come when there is something major happening, but it's something you can do every single day in your life. So, number 1 that we are having is being compassionate with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Embrace that little child with you. I used to be one of these people, when I have back pain, I would try not to talk so much about it and try to keep it for myself. And when other people would ask me what is wrong, I would say, no, I'm fine, that's okay, because I didn't want their pity. But again, it has nothing to do with pity, but all with really how we embrace and support other human beings. Number 2 is reach out with a genuine concern. How many times when we ask other people, how are you, do we actually really mean, how are you? A lot of times we ask people, they say, oh, I'm okay, this and that. And then we say, yeah, I'm fine too. Let's meet each other later, or let's see each other later. But how much do we actually really care about how another person feels? The other day when I was meeting a friend of mine and I saw she wasn't really feeling well, I went over to her and asked her, how are you? And she was telling me, oh, I am well, everything is okay, this and that, but in general I'm fine. And I was asking her, no, how are you? And this was the moment when she started actually really breaking down and crying suddenly. The moment when I realized she actually just needed somebody to be there and to ask her how she really is feeling, as opposed to just a simple, how are you? The third step that we are having is to really listen. Most of us listen to other people just in order to reply. But how many times are we actually really listening to somebody? A lot of times when we're in a conversation with a person that's going through a rough time, we are actually just trying to help. We are trying to find a solution, and we are trying to give our feedback, which is not a bad thing. But sometimes people just want to talk and they don't want to have your feedback. They just want to let out whatever is in their heart. So let them do it. And the fourth part is to actually really speak from your heart. So whatever it is that in life you want to talk to other people when they are not feeling well, don't try to speak from your ego. Don't try to speak from your experience only. But try to really speak from your heart and feel what the other person is feeling. Because the moment we actually feel what another person is going through, even if we don't understand it necessarily, this is where compassion really kicks in. Because we will never know the walk and the path of another person unless we have walked in their shoes. So we have to understand that people are going through different stages in their life, but it is important to understand other people and to really know where they are coming from. So the act of kindness and the act of compassion is something that is really truly important. And what really confuses me many times is why people think it's an act of weakness. It is something we are born with. It is something that comes so naturally if we only allow it. And it's actually so easy to do that, because if we, for example, walk on the street and someone drops the bag, for example, an old lady drops a bag, what is our first instinct? It is to help her. So why don't we do that every day, on an everyday basis with each other, and just help and support each other? This is what compassion is all about. The world cannot exist without it. The world cannot exist without love. So let's just go ahead and help each other and do it for each other. Because if a whole science is behind that topic, then I think it's time for all of us to embrace it and to live it fully. In this world that we are living in, it is a cruel world, but it's also a loving world. It depends which part you personally want to belong to. A culture doesn't create people. People create a culture. So let's all of us together create a culture of compassion, of love and understanding of each other. So that was my talk tonight on compassion. I hope I can trigger your mind a little bit. And please like and share our videos. Leave your comments below. As always, we love to hear from you. Please tune in tomorrow when Omar is going to take on compassion. Visit our social websites. Visit our website at lifetalkslive.com. I'll see you next week. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you and goodbye.